UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer launches what he calls a capital market mechanism aimed at encouraging private finance to ramp up green investments in poorer countries. According to him, the move shows the UK's commitment to be one of the world's climate leaders. Starmer said this while speaking at a roundtable meeting with global finance leaders at the COP29 Climate Change Conference in Baku, Azerbaijan.
To launch today this capital market mechanism, part of course of the climate investment funds, and located and listed, and I'm proud to say, in London, and so it's a special moment for us. This initiative, which is of course mobilising private finance to go alongside public, is at the heart of our shared challenge in the fight against climate change. We will all need to be innovative, and I think that's a theme of this COP, innovative and ambitious in meeting the scale of what is needed. Public finance on its own will not be enough, and I think that's a really important part of our messaging and our challenge. And we need to break down the blockers so we can unlock private finance, and that means working together. First, to match national plans and projects to international finance. London, of course, is one of the world's greatest financial centres. It's already playing an important part in scaling up green finance. I want us to be bolder, and I see London as the green finance capital of the world, retaining and reinforcing its #1 ranking in the Global Green Finance Index. And this mechanism today is an important part of that, to make good on the UK's commitment to be one of the world's climate leaders, and most importantly, to finance.
News Central's Bettina Nwheli is in Baku and now joins me live for the updates. Thank you for being here, Bettina. First off, how is Azerbaijan?
Thank you for having me. Azerbaijan is fine. Right now where we are, it's about 11 degrees, so it is freezing coming from Nigeria. But the COP continues irrespective, and I have somebody here who will give us a brief overview of how Nigeria is participating in the COP. I have Mr. Leslie Adogame. Dr. Leslie Adogame, please join us this morning, sir. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, sir. Can you give us an overview of how Nigeria is participating in the COP? Now, we remember last year promises were made to end fossil fuels and to also end gas flaring. How far or how well do you think Nigeria has done in that regard?
All right. Thank you very much. I think specifically to this question, we are making progress, I would say, but it's not so good enough. Because if you look at feedback we're getting from other countries that have made the same commitment, it's been very progressive. But in the case of Nigeria, the process is quite slow. But there's some level of commitment which we can see. We would really want to see a drastic reduction in gas flaring. Again, this is a climate finance. What do I mean? This is where decisions on what countries are going to get. If you can essentially cut down your carbon, then what kind of financing that will come to the global south, like Nigeria? Nigeria is a high priority because of our oil and gas relationship. Now, to get this finance is hugely dependent on the extent to which you cut your greenhouse gases. You keep to your commitment. So they are following this as well. It shouldn't be a surprise at the end of the day if we end up not getting something reasonable. Why? Because our commitment to cut is not so progressive. That's one. Well, the climate change is, I'll tell you, is I use the one word, conundrum, right? I use that word because it's multifaceted. It's highly political, even though it has environment, political, and other dimensions. But essentially, you have to play the global politics as well. You don't just go cap in hand. But there's an area we are making progress. In the area of low methane, we are making very good progress. We are trying to stay to our action plan of 2030 commitments to cut at least 50% of our short-lived climate pollutants. You know, that's a good one. There's an opportunity there. We are also making progress in the area of waste management. When I say waste management, with regards to low methane, the Lagos State government is making very, very important giant step in this regard, because, I mean, these are opportunities. So I would, in a nutshell, say on one area we are very slow when it comes to the aspect of oil and gas. Of course, you can understand it's our mainstay, but we made some commitments. It's not fast enough. But in the area of low methane and other short-lived, climate pollutant, a lot of progress is being made. And that was why you saw yesterday the DG was on the high table, making some strong statements. So we have potential. We have a chance of getting some financing from this sector. What I would simply say is it should be an issue of comparative kind of advantage. Let's build more strength in an area we are very sure we can get some support than really, but for oil and gas, I'm sorry.
All right, sir. Before I let you go, you have a side event coming up later this afternoon, and it's in regard to zero waste. Can you tell us how you intend, or how you think Nigeria intends to get to that level of zero waste? If we use Lagos as a case study, we know that Lagos is swimming in a lot of waste that has not yet been, dug into to actually get potential or to, get money from the waste. So what do you propose, sir?
I tell you, this is an area, that's why we're having this side event. And I just mentioned, this is a very potential area for us right now. Lagos State Waste Management Plan is very, very, very strategic. The action plan is very robust and has a potential. And that's why Lagos, on behalf of Nigeria, is participating in the Global Methane Partnership group to lower methane, from that. But however, there's a twist to this, and if we are not careful, we'll lose it all. Currently, while we are making progress in that area, which is why we want to have the side event, you also see a turnaround along the line where some investors are trying to woo the Lagos State government to go the way of incineration. Incinerating organic waste is not the way to go. That's why we are trying to say zero waste approach, because if you, I tell you it's global politics as well. The same people you are trying to ask for financing from, for example, World Bank will not finance incinerators. Incinerators are not known to deliver any sustainable waste management, results. They are basically bad practices all over the world. Even developed countries where they've been implemented, they are moving away. So there are now very sustainable ways, approaches, especially that has to do with zero waste, which Lagos State is, I think Lagos State just signed a contract with Zoom Lion, one of the biggest giants in Ghana. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. We are encouraging that. We want to promote that. The issue of MROF, alternatives to waste, to organic waste. You cannot incinerate organic waste that is more than 50% water. You are still using fossil fuel. That's not the way to go. The developed countries, those who want the funders, are also watching. If you miss it, then Lagos will miss out as well.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. You've heard it from Dr. Leslie. Zero waste is what we'll be looking at this afternoon. And I also have information that later in the day, the NLC will be having a side event with the International Labour Organization. And be sure that News Central will be there to cover it and bring it to your table.
For the updates, we'll definitely come back to you in the course of our news programming.